Close your eyes and imagine. It was August 4th, 1923. Wearing a silver flapper dress, a yellow taxi pulls up. You hop in with your friends and toll. It had rained. The streets were slick with water. A 15-minute car ride, you were on 125th Street, New York City. You open the taxi and step out onto the wet streets of Manhattan. Looking up, you see the bright lights that can be seen from the countryside. People bustling around. You have arrived at the hottest new nightclub, the Cotton Club. Walking through the door, you're hit with the aroma of Camel cigarettes and bourbon. You look around. Dark curtains surround the tables for an intimate feeling. The lights are dimmed to set the mood. You head to the bar. Handsome young men stand to take your order. The bar shines like a diamond. You hear the black jazz musicians plucking their instruments, filling the room with low hums. You order a drink, head to your table, when you're stopped by a man in a navy pinstripe suit. He takes your hand and you're off to the dance floor. Songs ring in your head as your mystery man spins you around the room.
Just one night, all we got. Just one night, all we got. Just one night.
My life has got to be like this. It's got to keep going on.
A little party never killed nobody. So we gon' dance until we drop.
Young men don't just drift coolly out of nowhere and buy a palace on Long Island.
Here right now is all we got.
Who is this Gatsby?
Speak easy, rockin' the bells on greasy.
I'd like to know who he is,
Believe me, I'm the beast.
but he does. And I think I'll find out.
Tear it apart, no how. I list trips around the world.
She threw all those parties hoping she'd wander in one night.
There's anything that you want. Just ask for it.
A little party never killed nobody. So we gon' dance until we drop. Let's go. A little party never killed nobody. Right here, right now.
Something ought to be done about a fella like that.
A little party never killed nobody. All we got, all we got, all we got.
Kind of takes your breath away, doesn't it?
The Roaring Twenties brought the Ford Model T to every home, talking motion pictures on every screen, and baseball heroes like Babe Ruth. The 20s also brought prohibition, speakeasies, and an era of jazz music. If you've ever watched The Great Gatsby, you feel as if it's one long party, with a carefree attitude. The 20s seemed like a decade-long party. The war was over, women were taking a role in society, more than half the country lived in cities, political and social standards were changing, and it was a time of prosperity. So why are people so fixated on the 20s? Is it the night-long secret parties, the hope of success, or the excitement of change? January 17, 1920, the 18th Amendment was passed into law, banning the selling or manufacturing of alcohol. Evangelical churches supported the movement. Protestant religious groups urged Americans to limit their drinking because it was bad for your moral and physical health. Drinking alcohol was not illegal, so many Americans created a stockpile before the prohibition went into effect. Al Capone, a notorious gangster, was making close to $60 million in beer sales and controlling the sale of liquor to over 10,000 speakeasies. An institution that illegally sells alcohol, speakeasies have easily become the biggest part of American culture during the 20s. Integration of race didn't matter at speakeasies. People would mix and mingle with little problem. Businesses invited women to draw in profits by provoking sex appeal. Prohibition made way for the classic cocktail prepared to cover the rough taste of moonshine. While on a tour at Rebecca Ruth, my tour guide Danielle told of how the Rebecca Ruth Candy Factory, founded in 1919, opened their first store at a Frankfurt hotel bar, closed because of prohibition, giving way to the success of their candy. Rebecca and Ruth, like all women, couldn't vote until Congress added the 19th Amendment to the Constitution in 1920. The 19th Amendment opened doors for women all over America. Millions of women began working. Birth control became readily available, allowing women to control how many children she had. Body image had a greater influence on women, and fashion was pushed to the limits. When thinking of women's fashion in the 20s, you probably imagine flappers. Young ladies with bobbed hair, feather boas, sparkly headbands, short dresses, who usually smoked and drank. The 20s switched the focus of politics and the economy to the social life. People were making more money and working less, giving them more time to have a social calendar. Unmarried women had jobs, giving them the opportunity to earn and spend their own money, and more women went to school than ever before. The 20s gave way to expansion of the women's role in society. The 20s were a time of influence. The 1920s shaped the America we know today. Basic home appliances like the refrigerator became the norm during this decade. 1 in every 5 Americans had a car, 12 million homes had radios, and lifestyles changed. What makes this decade so much better than all the others? America hasn't seen growing prosperity like the 20s. Homes were filled with laughter, secret parties filled the hearts of young people with excitement. The opportunity for change was undeniable. Today we are too focused on self-image and what society thinks. When in the 20s, society was changing, giving everyone the opportunity to be who they wanted, to become their own person. When in today's society, you must fit into the mold created for you, or you don't fit in at all.